guys. Welcome back to Through the Life Podcast. I'm Lenise.
And I'm Layla.
And we're so happy to have you here. So in this season of Seed Time and Harvest, we are just, we're treating topics that definitely require an understanding to help you kind of gauge this season that we're about to enter. We're now in spring, and Seed Time and Harvest is very important. It's symbolic.
Yep.
And one thing that I think we have to understand before even knowing how to sow is we have to know how to ask God before moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's crucial to ask God because if you are going to have a relationship with God, it's like any other relationship. But when you have a relationship with God, it's sacred. It's to an extent of like having a husband or a wife. It's like that because you have a covenant. Yep. It's not like he's your friend. He can be your friend too, but he's more than that. Like with our friends, like we don't have to include them in everything, right? Even your parents, you don't have to include them in everything. But if you have a spouse, if you're making decisions, you should be including them, right? So that's how you should see God. Include him in those decisions because he wants to be included. He wants to be considered. And with that comes guidance. He can also guide you and protect you from outcomes that can possibly happen if you step outside the will of God.
So this episode was inspired by one of Apostle Joshua Selman's teachings that I was listening to about prayer models, because when he went to Canada, an extension from like the Texas retreat, he treated on the topic of like praying with these models. And one of the models that I think convicted me the most was the prayer of inquiry. He was saying like with this prayer, it's a prayer that's so important because you need to ask God these questions before you pursue this decision that's going to change your destiny, change your partner's destiny, change your children. Like all these significant decisions that we make in life, we need to lean on God and ask for guidance.
Yeah, definitely do.
Because you need to consider what he says because, we're told in Jeremiah that he knows the plans he has for us. Why not ask the one that knows?
Yeah.
Right? So like just as a farmer, he carefully has to consider the right time to plant or harvest. We need to ask God before we take action in anything.
Yep.
Because then imagine you make the decision by yourself. You spend the next 10 years reaping the bad seeds that you planted, all because you missed the step of inquiry.
Mm-hmm. And it's as simple as that. It's a small step that can lead to big outcomes, whether that be positive or negative, right? So when you're making decisions apart from God's will, it can lead to unnecessary struggles in your life. And it's like you could have bypassed this. You didn't even have to get involved with this if you just asked him or was obedient. We also see this too with the Israelites. Like they weren't supposed to be on that journey for that long. It was not supposed to take that long.
No.
But because they were disobedient, it took them longer than it should have.
Yes.
And like when you said, that's you reap what you sow. They sowed that seed of disobedience and their outcome was not good, and they were upset, rightfully so, but it's like they should have known better.
Yes. And I liked how like Apostle was saying it's not that you're gonna ask God like, should I wear this color shirt? Like we're talking about meaningful decisions. Like you get a job offer, the salary is great, it's probably triple times your current salary, and what God wants from us is to ask God, should I take this job? Is this job prepared for me? Is this job in the will that you have for my life, right? Does it align with what you want from me? Because when we jump the gun and then we just go take the job, well, in 2 years you find out that the company dissolves because it goes bankrupt. But you would have known that if you had asked God if I should pursue, because he would have told you no.
Yeah.
And you may not understand why, but we're trusting that we know that God knows the plans that He has for our lives. He created the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when we think about how to pray, the prayer of inquiry is about just asking God to give me guidance. Like, this is what's presented in front of me, God. They said they want to do this. This person wants to do this with me. Or this car deal, whatever the case may be, something that will change your life. Go before God and wait until He gives you the answer. And it's tough.
It's definitely tough, but that's why you have to be open to His direction as well. Be open to Him leading you and giving you guidance. It's not always about what you want to hear. I know we throw in the question like, well, did God say so? God told me to do this, but did He really tell you to do it, or is that what you wanted Him to tell you to do? That's what you wanted Him to say. That's what you wanted to hear. So you made that up in your mind that that's exactly what He said, and He probably didn't even speak.
Yeah.
Or He was trying to speak, but your thoughts outweighed His voice and it blocked it, and so you couldn't hear it.
Yes.
So you have to be open to it. I think sometimes we can be prideful as human beings and we want what we want, but sometimes what we want isn't always what's good for us. Sometimes it's not about what we want, it's about what we need. And that comes with everything. That comes with job opportunities, that comes with relationships, that comes with business ventures, that comes with moving state to state. Just because you want to do it doesn't mean that that is going to be helpful for your growth and for your situation.
I love that. Because in Proverbs 14, verse 12, like it says, there's a way that seems right to a man, but it ends in a way of death.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it seems right to pursue this decision. It's going to change my life. It's going to make me, increase on a different level. It's going to bring in more money, But to everything, there's a con. So there's an importance to have self-reliance, be independent, be able to make decisions. Like we put this all on our resume, we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the dangerous part about it is that when there's too much of it, there's pride.
Yeah.
And the pride of life is what leads us to perish, right? And opportunities can seem perfect. Like, I really, this is what I was praying about. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. So they seem favorable. But then, because it's so favorable, it can convince us that we don't need God's input.
Sadly.
And unfortunately, because it's so to the T, you then go to God out of guilt. You're not going to God because you're genuinely asking God, should I pursue your heart already pursued? Mm-hmm. So why even waste a prayer? You've already made up your mind that you're going to take the job or buy this or marry this person. So why even go to God?
Yeah.
So
it's true.
It's convicting.
It is convicting, and that unfortunately that's the downside of making decisions on your own.
Yes.
Like you have to, like I always try to say, like if you have to make a decision, think about what the word says. Like any decision you're making, think about what it says in the Bible.
Yeah.
Like, are there similar situations that are presented in the Bible that you can compare it to? And ask yourself, like, what could possibly come out of this decision if you do see that example? And sometimes, like, you have to also ask yourself, like, will this situation or this decision pull me away from God or pull me towards Him? Does it align with love, peace, righteousness? And if it's no, it doesn't align with love, peace, and righteousness, don't do it. And if it does pull you away from God, don't do it, obviously, because whatever decision you make, it has to serve others and it has to glorify God. We also see this example too of bad decision making in the Bible, in Matthew, when Judas betrays Jesus, right? What did he do? He made a decision based on greed, right? And the result of that was regret and destruction. And that guilt led him to killing himself.
Yes.
So that was rooted in his bad decision based off of greed because he wanted money. So he gave up Jesus. And then what happened after that? He had all this feeling in his heart, and he didn't feel good about his decision. And that is also like when you are tempted to sin. When you sin, you feel guilt because you did something. And that's exactly what Judas did. He did sin in that way. And he couldn't take on that sin. He couldn't even bear himself to ask for forgiveness and to live it out. Like he just had to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's so good.
Because we see Peter, he asked for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he did get a second chance.
And I think what becomes the gray area for us and what makes us vulnerable to the ways of the enemy is that not every good thing comes from God, right? So Satan can manipulate the situation.
Yeah.
He can make good opportunities actually be the worst door for you to ever open in your life, to the point where if you don't spend time and pray and deliver yourself in it, it will continue to derail you, your children, and your children's children. Like it will be a domino effect. So not every good thing comes from God, and that we have to also make sure that our emotional intelligence is being worked on, because I think sometimes we feel very vulnerable, right? My life is not going this way, everyone else is getting this and that, what's happening with me? So then we're so devastated that we find ourselves making decisions just out of the mere fact that we're alone or we're sad. That is another way that you can open the door to your own destruction.
Yeah, it's like we rush it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then also being aware of whom you encounter when you make these decisions, and mention their name when you go and inquire what you're about to do, because those people can also be from the devil himself. Yeah, come work for us, we'll do this, we'll do that, it'll look like this, look like that, and you sign your name and you just signed your death sentence.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you think about it from that, it broadens your perspective on every decision you make that you know is going to change your life.
It's true. Not everything is a good thing. And just because it sounds good or it looks good, you know, the devil can make anything look pretty. He can make, you know, the worst thing look beautiful.
Yes.
And because sometimes we can be swayed, and sometimes we can just want fast results, we give in, right? Just like when Jesus got tempted by the devil himself, and he said, I could give you the world. And he's like, hold up. First of all, that's where he messed up, because it's like, we don't want the world.
Right.
We don't want that. The world is a dangerous place.
Never wanted it.
We don't want it. So why would you even offer that to me? But it's because Jesus knew his word too. He knew that we didn't live for the world. We lived for God. And so even that being an offer was a crazy offer. And he knew there would be a dangerous outcome if he took it. So like Lenise said, like you have to inquire with God about that, because everything can seem right. You know, sometimes the devil knows what you want too, you know, and he can give you the things that you think you want, right? And he can give it to you in a speedy fashion, but it's what is behind that becomes dangerous. It's rooted in it can be rooted in destruction. It could be rooted in pain. It could be rooted in your finances are destroyed. It could be rooted in now you lose your job, you get laid off, but you don't see it because you didn't consult with God. And like Lenny said before, why wouldn't you want to consult with God? Because he knows the plans he has for you. He's also all knowing. Like he knows everything. He sees things. He sees the conversations that are happening about you when you're not in the room. He sees it. He hears it. He knows everything because he made everything. That should be your number one source for information, for guidance, and for leadership.
And I think like once you come to the understanding that, okay, So that makes sense, right? So I made these decisions independently, and I can see the pattern of how they didn't work out for me, or maybe they did work out for you. Maybe it was aligned with God's will. You just didn't ask Him, right? Mm-hmm. So when we're going to God with this prayer of inquiry about whatever it is, whatever decision we have to make, like we go to Him with the understanding that it is not my will that needs to be done when I ask what's supposed to happen. It is God's. Yeah. So you might have gotten a better offer on this, and you go back to God and you're like, God, like, just tell me what to do. I don't care if it's right or wrong, right? For me, I want to know what your will is over my life. It's about what God's outcome is, not our outcome.
Yep. Yeah. That's so good. It stems from trust too, you know?
Yes, yes.
Like that's where it stems from. Like we should be still and trust in His direction. And sometimes trusting Him, you have to wait, for periods of time. Like when, Abraham, he wanted a son, right? And but he had to wait a while. He had to wait years actually for a child. And Sarah, she was like, I'm gonna just take matters into my own hands.
Because she laughed.
Yeah, and look what happened. Like, it led to conflict. It's like, but it's like, if you just waited just like one more year, and it's like, I think that's the misconception. Like, as human beings, we don't understand time. Like, our time and God's time are two different things.
Different.
A year for us can be like 10 minutes to Him. Like, that is nothing.
And so seasons too are different.
Yeah, to Him it's like, this isn't even a long time. Like, why are you bugging out? But to us, it's like, nah, that's 365 days. That's a long time. I can't wait that long. But God's like, when God makes you wait, it's also for your protection. They say your rejection is God's protection. And so that comes with waiting. Mm-hmm. And I know it's not easy. It's difficult. Trust me, I've been in the waiting season. It's not easy. It is tough.
Yes.
Because it's like, at that point, God is really all you have. You're really just relying on Him.
Yes.
Nobody else, nothing else. And I think what is hard is because you have to surrender everything. Everything. And it's very, it's like you're naked. Like He sees you. Like you have to let Him see you. And that's it. Like in the midst of that, of the pain, and like I've had points where I have to ask God, like, increase my faith, because right now I'm losing it. You gotta help me. You gotta help me, because I'm tired. But still, I prayed about it. I didn't give up. So that's the tough part of the waiting and the enduring. Endurance, though, it will show you, like, it will teach you discipline. It will teach you things that you won't learn when you get something fast. And sometimes you're even more appreciative if you have to wait a long time. It's like it's like the perfect situation. Like if you got it fast, it was a great situation. But if you waited, it's perfect. And something that's perfect is you can't compare it.
It's from God.
Yeah.
And you didn't see it coming?
Yeah.
It's the cherry on top.
Yeah.
I'm reminded, as you're talking, I'm reminded of Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not funny, but it's just, the Bible is amazing how it's written. I know it's been translated so many times, but I'm grateful that we have the Holy Spirit to have revelations daily, even if you read the same passage over, right? When he went to one city and they literally stoned him.
And he got back up.
And he got up, dusted himself off, dusted his feet like how Jesus instructed them, and went to the next city. And we never heard that he went to go put Band-Aids on his wounds. Mm-hmm. We never heard he was wincing in pain. We never heard that he was crying and people were calling him. No, he then picked up himself, dusted his feet, basically said, now y'all really on your own, and took off and went to the next city to preach the gospel.
Bro, when I tell you I read that, I was like, yo, Paul's a G, bro. Like, he got stoned. And was like, I gotta keep going though. He got up, like, do you know stoned? He got up and went to the next place.
Immediately.
Bro.
He didn't try to consult with them, negotiate. No.
He didn't ask for sorries and can you help me? He got up, bro.
And dipped and said the mission still continues.
Hey.
Powerful. Because then Jesus said, like, when he was gonna send Ananias to Paul to heal his eyes, right? And Ananias was like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, he was persecuting your people. And he was like, nah, he's gonna know what it means to suffer for my name.
Mm-hmm. He still did what he was supposed to do too.
And till this day, as believers, yes, we have to suffer for his name. It's not that God is intentionally making us suffer. It is the hearts of the people here on earth.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through pain to get a job. We're going to go through pain to pay bills, to meet deadlines, timelines, to see the future that we thought we were supposed to have. Even you can have it in the dream. But because, like, your heart is so far away from God, he will even show you this is what you can pull down from heaven. But because of your heart posture, because you keep doing things on your own timing, you're not dependent on me, I will not even give it to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't want to suffer for money. You want things easy, but that's not how life goes. So when you leave out of his hand, he takes his hand off of you, you go to the world, and they beat you too. Now what? Yeah. The suffering from God is not from him. It's not a negative suffering. It is a suffering that brings glory. It's a suffering that people are going to reject you. They'll persecute you. They will throw stones at you. They'll even stone you to death. But you will see the glory of God at the end.
It's true.
So,
because all the apostles, they suffered. All of them. And to the point where when they died, like, they were at so much peace. Yeah, when Stephen died, he said like he saw the heaven open up and he saw Jesus at God's right hand. And he was like, it's okay.
And I think it was our question that said, like, why do you think Jesus was standing up? When many passages, I don't know if that was our question, if I was reading something, it said, like, why was Jesus standing up when every passage we read that he sits by the right hand of God? Yeah. And I was reading it, so it said, like, it could be that he was advocating for Stephen, or he was about to go and testify against the forces that were coming onto him. But either way, he was there in support of Stephen. I was like, bro, my boy Stephen. Yeah. They took him out.
It's just like when Jesus was about to die, before they killed him, he was like, do you not think I can call up all the angels from heaven to just finish all this? It's like, that's the advocacy that, everyone in heaven has for us, though. That's the same thing that Jesus did for Stephen, like you said. That's why he was probably standing up. Because he gonna fight. He don't care. He's gonna fight for us. And like Stephen's death, like, just to be at peace, like, bro, it's deep. I can't imagine.
I'm telling you, like, a heartbreak feels like I'm being stoned to death. Mm-hmm. So imagine, like, imagine dying like Jesus. Make decisions with God. Mm-hmm. Make decisions because God told you to make that decision. Don't do it because you want it. Every time you want something, 9 times out of 10, good. It's not good. It's not good. It causes us pain. It causes us to suffer a really, really tough suffering. Mm-hmm. Why would you want to afflict yourself? Why? When the Bible tells us that, 1,000 will fall on my side and 10,000 will fall on my right side, but I will not be afflicted. And I will live to see the consequences of the wicked one. So why would you be afflicting yourself?
I don't know. On purpose too, like,
you're doing the devil's work for him. He's probably like, I Would have never even thought that.
Yeah, I didn't even have to do anything. Like, oh, she gonna do it willingly. Oh,
Bet.
okay. Like, don't make it easy.
Don't
like,
make it easy, man.
There's certain things like you gotta tell yourself like, you don't need it that bad.
It's really not that deep.
It's not that deep. Like, relax.
Everyone calm down, take a breather. You'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just shall I pursue? Because listen, the sowing is, like we said, it's not finances. It is everything. Your marriage.
Yeah.
Is a foundation that you're gonna be doing things on, and you're planting and you're sowing, and whatever it is that you're doing on that land, your children are gonna have to either suffer or gain something from it. So every decision that you know is gonna change your life drastically, we have to seek God's approval.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's kind of all I have.
Yeah, same. Like, you just do that one is so small. And I'll just leave you with that. Like, if you just ask him, I'm telling you, it will make a difference.
It will.
That's what I believe.
And sometimes it'll be silent. You might be like, yo.
And sometimes silence is the answer. That is him answering. Like, think about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to another episode of Through Life Podcast.
Please follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, and our YouTube page. And make sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube as well. You can follow us at Through the Light Podcast. And we will see you guys for another episode next week. Bye.
Bye.